What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my top 10 favorite booty workouts to grow and build the booty. So this is the elevated barbell hip thrust. I usually like to go as heavy as possible on these. What I'm doing is I'm putting the barbell right on my hips, like right where my hip flexors are, and I'm driving straight through with my heels. I'm coming up and squeezing my butt as hard as I can and getting as deep as I can, but mainly your one cue is going to be to drive through your heels. You don't want to put any weight on your toes, and I also usually have a pad protecting my hips, especially when I'm going heavy, but here I did not because I was not going super heavy. Okay, this next exercise that you're seeing is the Sumo Deadlift. On this, my number one cue is to make sure that you keep your pelvis tucked under. That way it's engaging your hamstrings and your butt, and you want to keep your core tight and your lats fired the entire time, just to make sure you're staying in like an upright position. But you want to come all the way down, come straight up, drive through your heels, and squeeze your butt and keep that pelvis tucked. This next exercise you're seeing is Dumbbell RDLs. On these, it's super important to keep your back nice and flat. I'm kind of acting like I'm bending over and trying to touch my toes. I'm keeping those dumbbells super close to my body. They're kind of brushing against my legs. My main cue on these are to imagine that your hamstrings are like a rubber band, and you're constantly stretching that rubber band, but you're keeping the tension. So I'm keeping the tension on my hamstrings the entire time. I'm coming up, I'm squeezing my butt, and then I'm going straight back down. I'm keeping my back flat, and I'm always driving through my heels on these. I'm just stretching as far as I can to get that good stretch in my hamstrings. This is a Bulgarian split squat. So on this one, I like to do it a little bit different than most people. I actually like to keep that front foot a little bit closer to the bench. A lot of people like to kind of take a bigger step, but to be completely honest, I feel it more if I'm coming straight down into a 90-degree angle. So with this, I'm not letting my knee go over my toe, and I'm driving through my heel, and honestly, I really feel this in the side glute area. Okay, so moving on to a reverse lunge. On this one, notice I'm doing every single rep on that right leg before I move on to my left leg. So my number one cue on this is to kind of come up and see how I'm coming up and squeezing that one right butt cheek. Oh my gosh, it kills your booty, I'm telling you. So that's my number one cue, is to come up, squeeze that butt, take a big step as far back as you can, and drive through your heel. Okay, so next we have a cable pull through. These are a lot like stiff-legged deadlifts. You want to stretch back through your legs. You're going to feel a stretch in your hamstrings. You're going to come up and squeeze your butt as hard as you can. So just like on the RDLs, you really want to make sure that your back is flat the entire time. So I'm coming down, my back staying flat. I'm pushing through my heels and squeezing my butt like usual. Alright, so next we have an elevated sumo squat. I really like to elevate this movement just because it allows me to get a lot deeper into the movement, and I feel it engaging a lot more in my butt and my hamstrings. So my number one cue on this is to tuck your pelvis under. You want to come down as far as you can, keep your toes pointed out, and drive through your heels. Come up, squeeze your butt. Alright, so this next movement is the typical bikini booty workout, but they actually work. Right here I'm doing the cable kickbacks. So I get something just to wrap around my leg. I usually kind of put it around my ankle. Right here I'm bending over, grabbing the sides, kind of bending over, but I'm coming up with that leg and I'm squeezing my glute as hard as I can at the top. And this is really going to engage like that glute ham tie. So these are awesome. So this next one that you're seeing is a cable abductor. If you have the abductor machine, that's another option too, but the gym that I'm filming at does not have the machine. So I do these banded abductors. And on these, I am coming outwards with my legs, and I'm squeezing those glutes, but I'm really getting that muscle-mind connection. As you can see, I'm kind of like feeling my glutes really push out my legs, if that makes sense. This last exercise is going to be banded duck walks. I really like these. I like to get a tighter band around my legs, and I'm basically just side shuffling really slowly, and I'm driving through my heels.